Peace, 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 family. How's everybody doing? I hope that you all are having a wonderful day so far. I'm recording this on Friday, so I think it's about a few days from the holidays, but I hope that everyone had a wonderful holiday if you celebrate. I will be doing the weekly astrology for the 28th to December 5th. All right, so this is an eclipse week, but a wrapping up of energy here. So I felt a natural progression with this energy where we're going to go from like living our life the way that we've been living our life to this like pause of, oh my God, kind of feeling where the high comes down, the happiness comes down, not down in a bad way, but where we're going to kind of get this clarity on whatever area this is playing out for you, and all of a sudden you get this clean slate to the Sagittarius, Gemini areas of our lives. And we kind of get the opportunity to start fresh, start new, and build a whole new life, which I kind of thought was really cool. Even what's more cooler than that is that I have the wonderful opportunity to do weekly horoscopes for my Patreon members. Thank you. I love and appreciate every single one of you. And I really get to see in real time through each of their charts how this could be playing out for them in very different ways. And that's a blessing. Not only does it help me hold me accountable for my beliefs and having respect for others' beliefs, which is so Sagittarius energy, or at least the higher vibrations of the Sagittarius energy, and how we should look at everybody, without judgment or, knocking people for how they celebrate or how they live their life. And you know what I mean? Just having respect for the things and ways on which, they got to where they are today, which allows them to perhaps celebrate this time of year the way that they do, right? And that's really a beautiful feeling, honestly. And I'm honored. I really am honored. And so I say all that in great Sagittarius fashion to say, what are you grateful for during this time? That's what we really should be sitting down having conversations about, right? We are in this, tis the season, what are you grateful for? And I'd love to hear everybody's stories and perspectives on that. I spent my holidays, I was initially going to go to my sister's house to celebrate. But what happened was my sister, so the way my mind works is that first of all, I need to know in advance because I have to mentally prepare myself for anything. It's not just the fact that it's holidays and that I'm going to spend it with family. That's actually so far gone from being the truth. It's not even funny. But even more so is like, I have a daily routine, I'm kind of set in my ways. And so if you don't tell me, I will make plans, as I do not celebrate these holidays, to, do stuff. And so I'm not typically the type of person who could get up and break that. If I say to myself a week before time that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And nothing is going to stop me from getting that done, even if that means I have to cancel something or I overbooked or something like that. You know what I mean? So typically I try to stay away from that. And so my sister never called me to confirm when I reached out to her whether we were still going or not. So I forgot, innocently. I promise it wasn't on purpose. And so when she called me literally the day before, and it wasn't even like early in the morning where I could be like, okay, maybe I can switch some things around. and you know what I mean? Kind of do my whatever. She called me literally at like nighttime when it was time for me to go to bed. I had already finished my day practically. And it was like, oh, I forgot to reach out to you are you still coming? I was like, dude, I forgot all the heck about that. Not to mention, I was supposed to bring a bottle of wine. Where was I going to get a bottle of wine at 8 o'clock at night? In fact, I think it was a little bit later than 8 o'clock. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I was like, but you could take the baby so that I could get a break. We could get a break from each other. I did allow him to get out, but I stayed home and I ended up taking calls on my psychic hotline, having conversations with people who don't have families and people who are really going through things, but they work hard throughout the weeks and don't really have time to make calls if that's something that they even wanted to do. And that was a blessing. I was grateful to be able to do that. And I did get some food. My sister brought me some food and I sat down and watched Hawkeye. As you all may or may not know, I am a huge Marvel fan. And it felt good, to be honest, to put my feet up for that little bit of time and do all of that. So I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. And it was beautiful. It really, really was. It was. I really enjoyed that moment. But I feel like we're going to get more of that blissful, harmonious, peaceful energy come Monday. And then later in the day, it's kind of like back to business as usual with Mars trine Neptune. Neptune is a compassionate, empathetic, spiritual energy. So Mars can inspire you to be more passionate towards your spiritual growth, volunteering, or kind of those other Neptunian things, which is like dance, yoga, swimming even, right? Because it's we're talking about Mars here, so this is some kind of action. And when you put Mars with Neptune, those are the types of actions, because Neptune's a water sign. So literally it could be anything around water, but swimming was what came to my mind. You could be taking a bath, you know. But any kind of arts and craft, even overindulging in some self-medicating, you know, drinking, and it could even be overindulging in people and having a good time and being around people, loving them unconditionally, and, you know, being in the holiday spirit, you know. It'll be Cyber Monday, so typically I'd say don't do it, but it's Cyber Monday, so it's sales, and that's exactly what Capricorn would want us to do anyways, right? So Capricorn and Venus is like, go for all the sales. So you might overspend here. Just be mindful with Mars there. You could be feeling just all good, you know, and overindulge in some spending here. So be careful of that. But for the most part, again, you'll get some, I mean, it's in alignment with the energy, you know. And then Tuesday, the sun is going to sextile Neptune, which is going to emphasize everything that I just said. It's going to shine light on everything that I just said. A positive spin on everything that I just said, but you have to work for it too, you know, to even see this energy or move towards this energy or receive this energy. You know, you have to be open to it. This can be anything around feeling inspired, creative, and even healing yourself, healing someone else, or just studying, studying healing practices. And then Venus is sextile Neptune. So again, we are really emphasizing everything that I just said. But when you add Venus, going back to that Capricorn energy, is you could be feeling like you are finally getting the respect for who you are and what you've achieved and accomplished in this at this point in your life, for things that you're really proud of, and you got a lot of people around you who see that, who acknowledge that, and they give you love and respect for that, and vice versa. That's how I really viewed this energy. Being around like-minded people who respect each other for who they are unconditionally. This could also be just like super spiritual, even like a spiritual love connection here with this energy, who you guys are like, I've been through some really tough times, but today, my spirituality allows me to know that those are the things I had to go through to get to where I am today, and I'm grateful. And you get love sick off of that connection, and I mean that in the best way possible, where you really just appreciate the journey, and it could be very romantic in that way. This could even be like great for artists, singers, and performers. So a night out on the town where you're celebrating, date night here, Broadway, a concert, plays. This is that type of energy, right? Getting out, spending time with friends and families, or again, just a romantic partner. You can be swept away from escapism, from like watching movies, or again, lovesick here. This is like some super romantic energy. And just being caught up in the moment and absolutely indulging in it and loving every bit of it. This could also be in the mind that you're visualizing these things, because Neptune is about travel, but a different kind of travel, and also mental travel. Like dreaming, dreaming of these things, having dreams about doing these things, just feeling super nostalgic about these things. And then Wednesday, the moon will move into Scorpio. Scorpio is a little bit more introverted, so this is like the detox. It's like, all right, you had enough fun now. It's time to release, detach, put your feet up, and be a little bit more introverted, introspective, secretive even. This could trigger the shadow phase too, so be mindful of that, family, especially if you was doing this to escape from something that was going on prior to all this, and you just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get high and not care about any of it, just be careful, because once we get to Wednesday, what will happen is reality is going to come back, and it's going to, bring those same depression, anxiety, fear, especially with the eclipse energy. It's going to amplify that, and that could be a not so good feeling. But on a more positive side, you can go deeper within to do some introspection, meditation, counseling. And Neptune's going to move direct too, which is going to be super intense. But ultimately, what it is that you're back to reality, you know. And for me personally, no matter how many ways you chop and screw that up, I see that as like uh depressing. I mean, reality sucks. Let's just keep it all the way 100. I mean, we all want these little perfect lives or whatever, but the truth of the matter is, unless we're doing the work and really holding ourselves accountable for how our lives look in reality, life sucks. Point blank, period. And I think the holidays and such, even metaphorically speaking, are ways to escape from all of that, where we get to pretend for one day that we actually all get along and love each other. Although we could have actually really felt that way this time, though, with this energy. I really do feel like that this energy was because we had this clearing of energy with this area of life where we actually sat down and listened to other people's opinions and was grateful to hear them, and even just like grateful that people are sharing, right? Because we're so damn secretive, and then on top of that, we've been so damn connected and like not really hearing from people anymore. Don't know what the hell people are doing and what's going on. Like, how the hell have you been? Like, for real, you know? Talk to me. And so I do authentically feel like we got a chance to really feel that this time around, and it be real. But at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, so reality kicks in, and the truth is that, you know, we don't really get along. We don't really know how to connect. We're not honest about those things. And I really feel like the Neptune Jupiter energy could inflate that, but it could have been more unconscious, you know. So now that Neptune's waking up, it's like, you know, if I could avoid another fucking fake ass energy of going somewhere where I gotta pretend like I'm happy when I know that I'm not, and I just like, what can I do to change my life in such a way where I don't have to pretend, you know? What can I change about my emotional and psychological beliefs that I can do to make those things actually be real and we not have to pretend? And the reason why I'm harping on this is because, you know, we are celebrating the pillaging and raping of a people. You know, I know we don't really want to have that conversation, but I gotta keep it real. You know? And then we have this whole wrap up of Christianity and what that really means. And if we're really not, you know what, I'm going to take the word Christianity right out of that, because I don't want to pick on just one thing. This is religion overall. You know, we kind of have this thing about religion and what is it really, and how should we really be giving back or treating these holidays or working with these holidays, which, if we're being super honest, should be about giving back. I mean, don't get me wrong, the eating and sitting at the table and being with the family is also very important, you know. But remember, we went through a whole series of losing jobs, leaving jobs to spend more time with family. And so in this perfect little bubble here, you know, okay, so we got the family piece now. So what this day should really be spent on is giving back. You know, now you get the time to really do that and really indulge in that. Give and donate. Give to people who don't have, who are less fortunate. I'm trying to think of like some spiritual ideas. Or maybe, ooh, I know, like, so if you're into the spiritual stuff, this could be like, how do you call it? The deities, giving thanks to them and for what they do for you, and meditating or prayer, right? This is where you do your deep prayer and really living in that, I mean, I can say so much more about that, but I'm going to shut that down. But I will say the reason why I'm saying it, even though it might sound a little bit negative, is that we really have to be honest about where we're at. We really have to be honest about being more clear about how we want to be living in this reality, because I'm telling you right now, we can keep walking around here, walking on eggshells and pretending, but if we're not fixing the real issues, in fact, I'll add one more scenario. Instead of sitting around eating food and indulging in those things, what we really should be doing is sitting down with our family, working on our problems together as a family. That's a more spiritual way to look at this, and this perfect little example of how we should be working together. And the reason why I'm really, really bringing this up is because two things. We have eclipses moving into Taurus and Scorpio is in the South Node, and this is our psychological and emotional bullshit. And I'm telling you right now, it is going to get stirred up, right? And so if you're having these more internal feelings about these types of things, and you're pretending and you're not really addressing them, you are going to have a really hard time with this. On top of that, as we're sitting up here talking about all this Neptune energy, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. Jupiter's going into Pisces. This is all about our beliefs, our worldviews, our philosophies. This is everything that I'm talking about. Your spiritual practices, your religious practices. Are you really being authentic and not being afraid to change things around a little bit because nobody else is doing that? This is also about being a sheeple and following what everybody else does. Be brave to do something different, something real and authentic. You are celebrating something that was passed down to you from your oppressor. We have got to get out of that, and understand that if we continuously be immersed in an energy that has no value to us whatsoever when it comes to evolving and evolution, well, how do you expect anything to change? And so I didn't mean to get real serious on anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or anything like that. That's not what I'm doing, but I am warning you. If these are your beliefs, you're going to have to get real serious with it, because we are evolving. We are at an impasse where we are going to release and secrete and detox and let go of, evolve and transform all the things that are not allowing us to evolve as a people, as a society. And so personally, you got to get real deep and serious about what that looks like moving on for you. And so this is a new moon happening on Friday in Sagittarius, and you have a new path. You're going to start a new path, so asking yourself the tough questions. What is it that you want to change? What does that look like? And really do it, don't just do it surface level stuff. Dig deep. And pinpoint every single person that you want in your life and envision what does that look like from all different angles. You know what I mean? And some of these things have probably become already pretty darn clear to a lot of people. And you're going to continue building on that because you're literally getting a new start, a clean slate. This is with the eclipses here, we're talking about how do you call it? Past life. I'm trying to think of like a good word to describe why it's such a clean slate, but it's not really coming to my mind at the moment. But nonetheless, the point is that you get a clean slate to bring in more pieces to how you contributing, breaking the chains to your generational storyline, your bloodline, and what role you play in that, right? Remembering that piece. And so for all Sagittarius things, you kind of have this opportunity to do anew. So you could be dreaming about travel, if not physically, mentally, what you want to teach or learn, what spiritual or religious practices are you studying, and then how are you going to implement them in your life? Or giving back to and volunteering in some way, shape, or form. And more than anything, what adventure are you planning for yourself? How are you going to get out in the world and have more experiences? And then you have Mercury, who's going to add to that, who's really going to help you implement these things on a daily basis, which I thought was really kind of cool. You're going to have the support from Mercury with all of that, which is currently in Sagittarius. I did do Mercury and Sagittarius video. I hope you all caught that. If you hadn't, definitely go back so that you know how you can work with that energy. But for the most part, yeah, I thought this was really nice. I know I kind of went off on a bit of a tangent here, but I hope that you found this information helpful. I love and appreciate every single one of y'all.